Hey, this is Mike coming at you with another episode of the Halftime Mike podcast. And just excited to jump in and dive in today. Trying something new here because I am on the podcast, the audio, but also live on video and recording this. So just trying to experiment with it a little bit more and see how that goes. What I want to talk about today is social media for lead generation. All right. So I have talked about digital marketing, online marketing, Facebook marketing, responsive websites, all those kinds of pieces. And I think that when it all comes down to it, the term that captures it best is social media for lead generation. Social media is an incredible opportunity for lead generation if it's done right. And so what I find is there's too many people that aren't doing it right. And so that's what I want to talk about here. Too many small businesses, small, medium-sized businesses that, number one, could be skeptical about social media, or number two, don't see how to connect social media to actual, a marketing plan that ends up resulting in sales. And it is possible, but you've got to bring these things together. And that's what I do a lot. That's what I want to talk about. So I kind of want to go through a number of things related to that. But let's start out by laying the case for social media. All right, and the case is that there is an adoption rate like we have not seen by anything other. Social media is being used. It's across all demographics now. Different demographics are on different social media platforms. That's another story. We'll get to that one. But social media is being used. I believe the stat is about 8 out of 10 smartphone users in the U.S. are on a social media platform, so they are using it. And yeah, I know we all have different things on our phones, different apps, so they're using it greatly. That's where statistics like what we see with Facebook, where the average American user is spending 40 minutes per day. When you total it all up on the service, is what makes it incredible, because they might be spending 10 minutes on mobile in the morning, and then there's a 2-minute check, a 3-minute check, a 2-minute check, a 2-minute check, a 2-minute check, a 2-minute check. Then there might be desktop use for 5 minutes here. Okay, then it's back to the mobile, 2-minute check, 2-minute check, 1-minute check, 3-minute check, 5-minute check. All those things are adding up. That's just during the day. We're still trying to get to the evening, and then the time ramps up again. They're watching now, where they're watching TV. They're interacting with people. Bottom line is they're spending 40 minutes on that social platform a day. And with the different capabilities of the Facebook page as well as Facebook ads, business marketers have the opportunity to get in front of the right audience. Now, maybe your audience is on Twitter or on Instagram. Okay, they don't have the massive amount, that 40 minutes per user per day, but they're continuing to increase, particularly Instagram. There's a lot of growth that's happening there. So that is why social media is important, because you can get in front of your ideal audience, and you know who that audience is. That will tell you where that audience is spending time, because you want to know if they're spending more time on Pinterest versus Instagram, Twitter versus Facebook, Facebook versus Twitter, all those types of things. That's important for you to know if you're going to use social media for lead generation. And a second thing I want to point out to you is a misconception, or people get upset with social media and say it can't result in direct sales. Okay, and I want to address that, because I don't think social media is intended for direct sales. All right, okay. Do people put up billboards? Do they run TV advertisements for direct sales? Like that's going to equivalent someone saw that, came over, typed in that website, and made a purchase then. On the billboard, they expect people to do that. It's the same with social media. It is not a direct sales channel primarily. It can happen. There can be some that come across that way and directly buy, but it's not direct sales primarily, because people are on there to be social in the first place. You're intersecting with a social network where people are hanging out and looking at things that are happening, not necessarily ready to buy at that point in time. But it's changing. It's increasing there. but you can intersect with them there. But it's primarily going to be, for brand awareness, for building trust, for building awareness, and for moving them over to your website. All right, those four things there are keys that I want to point out to you, and I want you to begin thinking about for top of the funnel marketing. So your social media is awareness, branding, it's education, resource rich, and it can drive them to your website. Those are the key tools, and it's a great platform to do that because people are spending so much time there, and you can intersect with them there. All right, so I break my funnel down in terms of social media. You need to be where your audience is, so you need to figure that out, and figure that out primarily from your existing customers. You can get an idea of who they are, their demographics, their interests, and even polling them. What social media networks are most important to you? Where do you spend time on those social media networks? Okay, that's where you should be spending time. So you want to get your assets out there, business pages set up, get comfortable with that. I'm recommending that you, if you're going to be on Facebook, that you have the Facebook Pages app on your phone and get that set up. That's going to be an important tool because you're going to want to do some of this on the go. You need to be able to get notifications on the go. So you also need to be, savvy yourself. You can't be a social media marketer if you're not savvy with a smartphone and, with the actual platforms themselves. So figure out where they're at. Then there's going to be a mix, and think of it as a funnel. All right, so it's wider at the top, and then it gets narrower, and that's you're trying to funnel people down. Who's interested and who's interested now? So the top of the funnel is attraction, and that's about 50% of your content mix is up there at the top of the funnel, and that's a significant portion. I mean, that's 5 out of 10 posts. That's half of it, 1 out of 2. All right. And a lot of people don't think through that, and they think they go too fast to direct sales. How do we push people to our website? Well, you can't be doing that all the time. And so 50% of your contact is in that top of the funnel where you're just trying to get in front of them. You're trying to have a positive rapport. You're trying to get brand awareness, offer a resource, connect with them, be valuable, be fun, be interesting. That's in that top of the funnel mix there. And again, then the middle of the funnel is driving people to your website. That's you want to combine that then, social media lead generation. We want to get 30% of our mix, okay? And so breaking it down, out of every 10 posts, that I put out there, and that might be, 2-3 days worth of posts there, that 5 of them are going to be attraction oriented, and then that 30%, 3 of those are going to be lead capture oriented. They're going to try to drive somebody to my website. Maybe I'm sharing a blog post. I'm sharing an image of a blog post. I'm sharing a little video of a blog post and saying, hey, you want to hear the rest of it, see the rest of it, come on over, click here on this link. Brings them over to the website, and that's where you want to have some type of soft lead capture. And then the bottom of the funnel is 20% of your social media marketing mix. That's where you're going to try to make a direct offer. Hey, sign up now, and I'll give you X number of weeks free. Purchase now, and we'll give you X amount of discount. There's 10 spots left, so come on over, and we'll give you X, Y, and Z for signing up today. But that's only 20%, and a lot of people get that wrong, and they flip that around, and they want to have 80% of those. You can't do that on social media because it's primarily a social network. But again, it's valuable for social media lead generation because you can cultivate the right type of community. And particularly, this is why I love Facebook ads. I am Facebook biased, but here's why. I mean, every major buying demographic is on Facebook, everyone. And, so you can find the 50 plus, you can find that huge buying segment of 30 to 40-year-old females. You can find that 20-something audience on there as well. And you can even find teenagers, all right? Okay? But you need to know who your mix is and who you want to go after. But all of those are represented on Facebook. And then Facebook has all that data on people that you can take some of those posts and you can boost them, and I get a Facebook ad and narrow down a target audience, or you can use the Facebook Ads Manager and drill down even deeper to get right in front of just exactly who you want. You can tell then if they come over to your website, you can tell if they have purchased a product after seeing an ad. You can tell all those metrics. So it's a valuable tool. But social media for lead generation needs to start with attraction content and engagement content. So this is building your community in that top of the funnel. That's 50% of your mix. Then 30% is in the lead capture portion in the middle, and that needs to be something that brings them over to your website. Okay. Now, again, it's about good content on your website, but don't just share the link. All right. So what I've seen is, this is a insider tip, because I do a lot of posting, a lot of watching the insights, Facebook analytics, and sharing links to blog posts. I get less reach. It goes out to less of the fans on my Facebook page, because Facebook knows people like images and video. So as a simple thing, I always have a good image in each blog post, and then I can share that image on Facebook, on my Facebook page. When I post about that blog post, I share the image. It's a image on Facebook, goes into a photo album, and then I put the link in the description. Hey, create this post, and I think it's going to help you with X, Y, and Z. And to read the full article, click here. They're looking at an image, and then they can read that description, click on it, come over. Or else I'll do a short video, load that to Facebook, same type of thing. Hey, created a great blog post. It's going to help you with X, Y, Z, and you want to read about it in full details. This is why you want to read about it. Click here, and then they click on that video, because videos appear in the newsfeed more. They go to my website. All right, so I've got them over to my website. When they're there, statistics show that 70% of people don't come back to a website. So while they're there, you want to get a hold of them the first time. Now, let me pause a second. I left something out, and that is, how do I post more quickly? Because people can get fumbly with all these. How do I post an image to Facebook? All right, another insider tip. I use Post Planner for this, because I can just go to my new blog post, copy the URL. I can go over to Post Planner. It's my buddy Josh Parkinson's tool online, and I can drop that into a post for my Facebook page in Post Planner, and he gives me a checkbox that says post as a photo, post as an image. And I check that, and he automatically does the magic of making that a image post as opposed to a link post. Okay? And then all I need to do is tweak my description, and when it posts to Facebook from Post Planner, it posts as an image. I'm telling you, I'm getting 4 to 5 times better reach, more people seeing it of my fans on Facebook when I do this, posting it as a image as opposed to posting it as a link. All right, we're talking significant, going from 5% to 30%, 25% of my fans seeing that post as opposed to 5%. Big difference there. Okay, so that was my little timeout there. Now, where was I? I said, because we've done that then, so we're using videos, we're using images in our social media, we're driving them back over to the website, where 70% take off if I don't capture them. So I need to use some type of soft lead capture there, okay? Soft call to action, some type of resource. Could be a coupon for B2C, for B2B, it's typically some type of resource, whether it's a private video, a downloadable ebook, some type of resource of value that's not your product, that helps them want to say, that's a valuable thing. It needs to get in front of them. I use a pop-up. I use Waftio, WAFTIO, that we've created software for that. So it's a widget, and then it comes up, and you have an opportunity to enter your name and email address and get the resource. I use that because the sidebar is not strong enough, and you need something that's going to get in front of people. So I like to use something that does appear and comes up and it confronts them, gives them that little thing. They can always X out of it, but studies show that these are working, gives people the opportunity to make that type of selection. So I have them make that selection to opt in. That way I can then nurture them with email. So think about this. I went from social media to website to the lead capture, now to email. So I'm talking about social media for lead generation, but I'm using multiple components here, social media just being the first of that, and a beautiful first of that, but I'm tying all these pieces together. That's why it's not just something random, but it needs to be something integrated, all right? And then there's, email lead nurture. That's a topic for another time, and going through those processes. But coming back to the social media for lead generation, all right? So 50% of your contact is to 50% of your social media posts are just to attract and engage. Okay, 30% is to drive them to your website where you have that soft lead capture, and 20%, just 2 out of every 10, is something that's direct offer to have them make a buy right then. All right, and again, I'm talking mostly with Facebook, with Instagram, just because those are the ones that are working for me with my demographics. Might be Twitter for you. I think Twitter's struggling somewhat, so there's going to be certain industries will be there, a tech, a younger audience, but not just general small business. If you're general small business, I really think you have to be thinking about Facebook, be aware of Instagram, and you might be able to have an audience somewhere else depending on what your product or service is. Might be on Pinterest, but Facebook's going to be a key. And again, I love Facebook just because they're innovating, they're getting people to spend more time there, and then with the demographic targeting, it's just awesome, incredible. You can get in front of those people. So that's what I mean when I talk about social media for lead generation. That's my unique perspective on it, and I'm excited about that. So excited that I've been writing a book on it. That was the synopsis. You just heard the 15-minute version of it there. I drill into details in my forthcoming book that's coming out here, so look for it this fall. Definitely going to have it out in November, and just excited about the opportunity to share in more depth what I'm sharing with you now about the opportunities for social media lead generation, taking the mystery out of it, making it practical, making it doable. That's what I do here when I invite you to take a halftime break with me, and that's the key today. Social media can work for lead generation if you put it together with the right mix, and then with the other right tools, with your website, with your lead capture, with your email marketing there, okay? So that's what I wanted to cover today. Just taking a look at my notes, and because I'm live now, so you can see if I'm looking down, whatever, I'm glancing at my notes to make sure I'm covering everything. And that was the meat of what I wanted to cover today. I'd really like to get some feedback. If you've heard me, if you listened this far, can you give me some kind of comment on the blog post? Can you give me some kind of shout out, a review on iTunes there? I need some feedback. Is this stuff resonating with you? Is this stuff connecting with you? If you're listening, let me know. I'll give you a shout out in a future one if I know that you've gotten this far and you've heard me. All right. So social media for lead generation. What stands out to you? Are you ready to do it? Don't wait until you get it all right. Take some action. Take some action today. What's the first thing you got to do to get started on this? Are you on Facebook? Do you have your Facebook page set up? Are you posting a few times a day? Have you thought about your post mix? So think about that strategically. Plan out your next 10 posts over the next 2 to 3 days, and map that scenario out. What's going to be in some attraction and engaging posts to just get in front of the right audience, be a resource, be interesting, be of value. Then how am I going to, what's my new content that I want to drive them to on my website? Do I have soft lead capture set up? Okay. You got to get some of those things in motion. Hang on to those things. Do those things. All right? So this is Mike talking social media for lead generation. I want to hear from you. Please take care. Have a good one. Over and out.